And
he told me to tell you.
Hello, Poker House Nation. We're back. It's Craig Dobson here with special guests and commentating for his inaugural launch. I call him Dan the Man. You know him, you love him, you see him, and in his proud burnt orange, rocking for the Texas Longhorns. None other than Dan. How are you, sir?
Good, Craig. Thanks for having me. First-time commentator. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you very much, Dan. Obviously, if this tells you anything about Dan, he was the proponent for this game, this 1-2-5 game, to be on the stream. And so once lots of things got organized properly, and we were able to put this game on the stream, obviously you've seen the results if you saw anything from last week's game. This is the man, the myth, the legend that was able to put it together. So definitely, we got to give him a round of applause. A round of applause on that one. So
sound effects.
Absolutely. So,
so a little background on this game. Duck. Duck, his poker name is. A while back, we wanted to get a game together, just playing with our friends and playing a little bigger buy-in. And so for the last 3 months, we've played this every Wednesday. And now that the stream's ready, we got to finally stream it last week for the first time. And I was on there, and it was a blast. And pretty eager to get in here and tell you all about my friends and all the crazy stuff they do. So.
If that doesn't tell you that you are in for a surprise, as a bonus, obviously we have one of the gentlemen that is the architect in regards in this game, but he's going to be able to give us a more in-depth on the reasons why these players are doing what they're doing. So we're going to just go ahead and click off for us here. Yep. And here we are. So again, this is a 1-2-5 game. The game's been going on for a little bit over an hour now. It's a $1,000 buy-in. Obviously, you see some people have more, some people have a little bit less, but of course, we've had action for about an hour now. So, and Dan's been testing to it as he's been, quietly observing watching the chaos and the chips fly. If anything, we do know that it's 1-2-5. It's 1-2-5 to come in. And are you guys putting on did you guys decide to put on the mandatory straddle?
The 5 is the mandatory straddle under the gun, and then you do have the option to do a $10 blind bet.
Okay.
You can jack it up a little more, but it is a blind bet, so if no one raises, the action's not reopened, and the $10 blind better cannot raise.
There you go, folks. If anything, we have some of Poker House's, I would say, Poker House's regulars in regards in this game. A few people that you may know from one way, shape, or another, including some tournament crushers, some well-known cash players. Actually, and then how did one of our dealers get in this game?
Rick's friends with us, and he wanted to play, and just ask Patrick. I mean, if you ask Patrick and you buddy up with him pretty quick, he can get in the rotation. He does really well at filling in like 3 or 4 new players every week, and so we've got this pretty decent list, and it just rotates in and out every week now. But Rick is the guy in the 1 seat now.
Yep.
And Duck to his left in seat 2, he runs the game.
Yep.
Renee is a usual in seat 3. He actually played in that really big 2-5 game last Tuesday that turned into a 5-10, $5,000 buy-in game and did really well.
Yes, I do remember that, son.
Renee can make moves. I expect some interesting things out of him tonight. Let's see, that 4 seat is Randall. I think he goes by Randy as his poker name, or Risky or something, but another wild player. We've got Cy in 5. His poker name I'm blanking on right now. I think it's the Poker a Myth. I assume these names will start popping up.
I think it's a poker. Cy is the 5 seat. Poker Kenneth.
Kenneth.
Yeah, that's what he went by last week.
Poker Kenneth. Okay, I gotta ask him where that came from. I actually don't know the guy in the 6 seat.
I think said he wanted to go by Jimmy. So
that's Jimmy. Yeah. I don't have any familiarity with him, but I think he's friends with Randy. Randall. And 6th seat is one of our favorites named Nick, AC Nick.
AC Nick.
He owns an AC company, and he's a really splashy, fun player.
Absolutely. And then we said we have Tom in the 8th seat.
Tom's a young kid that can mix it up. He's from Florida, has been playing for a long time, and he will get out of line and make some fun moves too. So looking forward to that.
And I believe we said we have Megan in the 9th seat. So I think
Our
Megan,
good friend Megan,
holding it up for the ladies against all the male testosterone at this table. So and we
Megan
do
can hold her own. Megan's great.
I don't doubt that for a minute.
Yeah.
And right away, we didn't hesitate, folks. We made sure we got the kickoff early. So here we go. In this 1-2-5 game, we got Renee, which by accident we were calling 3-neck.
I think it was the Renee C.
Yeah, that's
you just combined it together.
I didn't even realize what it was until I was like, oh snap! And then he says like the 3-neck. Oh, it's Renee. And I'm calling him 3-neck the whole time.
I'm glad he fixed that for you.
Absolutely, it did make a lot of things easier in regards on that. So we got Cisco that's gonna kick this off. Again, this is a 1-2-5 to come in game. Minimum buy-in was $1,000. Did you guys decide to do a max, or it's just
The game starts, and through 10 p.m. you can only come back in for 1,000.
Okay.
So Patrick had some parameters about this game to where he didn't want to. He just wanted to be inclusive and make people feel comfortable. So if someone runs it up real fast to 5K, and then a new guy comes in and buys him for 5K, well then he's got other people covered, and some folks don't want to play that big. So you can only buy in for 1,000, and if you can stack back up to 1,000 whenever you want to. But yeah, you can't. It's not match and stack or whatever.
There you go, folks. It's no democracy or dictatorship needed on this one. It was players decided and players regulated in regards to this. Here are our chip counts as we start again. Remember, this game started a little over an hour ago, so some stacks are bigger, some are smaller than the initial 1K buy-in. But that does not mean there is not less of our action. In fact, there will probably be more. I don't doubt it. I've seen these guys play, and some of the hands that end up getting turned over. I'm going, huh?
And the same thing happened to me because last week Daryl, I was calling Randy earlier. He had some new fun poker name that he used in the stream, and that threw me off, just like the 3-neck thing for you. But his name is Randall. He fixed it this week, so
right.
He goes by Randall.
As he goes by Randall, and we got Nick, who wanted to go by Nick 6. Now, in a small reference to Nicky 6 of Motley Crue, which he's going to raise it up to 20. We've got Renee's going to put in the 3-neck as he's going to put in the 3-bet to 80. Poker Cannon's going to make the call, and Nick's going to wrap the table. We're going to go 3 ways to the flop. And the flop comes 9, King, Deuce. Both Renee and Nick have both flopped top pair. Poker Cannon sitting there with Queen High. Renee checks, Poker Cannon checks, and Nick firing all cylinders like that V8 Corvette. He's going to bet 90. Renee's going to make the call.
This could get expensive for Renee.
First. And Poker Cannon, he's going to lay it down. So, and the 10 on the turn, now it gives both gentlemen the same straight draw, but they need each other's cards.
Oh, wow.
And the ace on the river is going to be Nick with the kings with the queen kicker, and he's fired out again. Looks like it's a bet of 120. I think Renee, or is he going to make this call even though there's an ace and a 4-liner on the board? Yeah, he makes the call. And Nick's going to roll over the better king. And with teeth shining so bright, he's going to take down this pot.
I'm surprised that checked through the turn, and Renee got out cheap on that one.
Yes, he did.
I think the more you watch Nick play, you're going to realize you're going to have to call down a little light on the rivers to look him up quite a bit, because that man is capable of making some egregious bluffs. Not egregious in a bad way, just like he is a brave man. And it works a lot, too.
Absolutely. In my mindset, it's like I said, he has. I know I've had a chance to know Nick quite well over the past, I guess, a little over the year that we've been open, and I can attest to it. And now now that you know what, he's a good guy. He gives a lot of action, and that smile and that politician smile is going to be able to get a lot of bluffs in. It's like, why? Look at me. Look at my smile. Why would I'm not bluffing?
We got Jimmy with a nice open with 5s. Under the gun +1. This is towards the bottom of his opening range, and Renee is going to defend the big blind with Jack 9. Which is a perfectly reasonable defend.
Of course. And we got a flop of Ace 3 Queen, and so far the 2 5s are holding up. We got a 6 on the turn. Again, 5s are holding up, and Renee is gonna check it over. I think Jimmy's gonna put out a bet here, and I think it's gonna be a raise and take it. And he bets 25. Renee let goes, and he's gonna win the pot.
I like it. I think he could, with a board like that favors his range so much, really dry rainbow Ace Queen 3. He could put in a small C bet on the flop, but he did a delayed C bet where he can see what the opponent does on the turn and checks to him, and he can bet his whole range again on the turn with that blank there and get it through.
Absolutely. I figure once a player that's under the gun after making call out of position, once I think that second check comes through, you know you pretty much have the green light to be able to make a bet and take a pot down.
Absolutely.
Jimmy's going to fold the double down hand 8-deuce, bet 20. Nick with the 8-5, he's going to lay it down. Tom folds over to Megan. She's got king deuce, she's going to fold. Rick's going to lay it down. Duck's going to lay it down. Renee lays down the Jack 3 on the button. So it's a battle of the blinds.
A lot of nothing this hand. This rarely happens where the big blind and straddle.
Oh, Daryl's got aces on the spin. And Poker Kenneth's going to call with the 4-deuce flop coming 6-7-9. Daryl wakes up with 2 aces.
Just because that's a bad flop for aces.
Absolutely. Oh, he just rolls over the aces. Poker Kenneth was trying to get cute with the 4 high. Calling with the suited 1 gapper, hoping for a low board. A medium board, and I've got the absolute mother of all starting hands. Yeah, good luck with that. Again, here are our chip counts. Again, they all started with about 1,000. They've been playing for a little over an hour. Some have more, some have less. But from Dan, Nick tells me no that this is an action game, folks. The hands that they're going to roll over if all the money goes in are not going to be your typical aces and the kings. It's going to be I like to say, a wild assortment of the deck. That's
Patrick's idea. I mean, Duck's idea. He wants to get action players in here to make the game fun and splashy, and it works. Got a really good lineup tonight. A little delay on the. They're making fun of you for the Renee.
I was like I said, 3-neck. All right, here we go. I think we're getting our action tracker caught up and back to Renee. Yep, on the button, making the raise with Ace 9 of clubs. Poker Kenneth's going to defend with the 98 O's, 9-8 of spades. Jimmy lays down the Ace 5 and over to Rick. He's got the double down hand, 7-4 clubs, and makes the call. He does not represent all dealers at Poker House, and he's gonna get in a little trouble doing that. Even though Poker Kenneth's flopped 8s and deuces, Renee has flopped the nut flush draw in clubs. He's gonna put out a $50. He's gonna put out for 50. Poker Kenneth's gonna call. Rick's gonna call. And the king of spades on the turn, still no help, but the 8s are ahead. Everyone goes check, check, and Renee's going to fire out again for 200.
I like this aggression from Renee on the button with a couple limpers and a big behind to defend.
And it looks like Poker Cam's going to make the thin call here. Rick's going to fold. Here comes the river. It's a 6 of diamonds, and if it gets checked through, then it's going to be the 2 8s. But Renee's going to push it all in.
Poker, Kareth is going to be brave to look him up here. He might have played with Renee enough to know Renee is very capable of triple barreling.
Raise before the flop, bet the turn, and now he's firing all in the river. I mean, this is a true 3-barrel bluff if we've ever seen it. He has ace high, and Poker Carrot does have a pair of eights, but the board texture, if he can sniff this out.
So he's getting 3-1.
Oh, he makes the call.
Yeah, he's got to be good 1 out of 4 times.
What a call, folks. Calling down with just a pair of eights. He's going to take this pot. I told you, folks, I wasn't kidding. And obviously, Dan can co-sign on this one. You're going to see hands that get turned over that on flops like this, you're going to be like, huh? It is no joke, folks. He got it all in with just ace high, got looked up by a pair of eights, but in all honesty, I mean, the board texture didn't read right with the line that Renee took.
I agree in that jamming that river, his value range, there's just not a lot on that dry board of 2-8-2 king or whatever.
Six, yeah, it was six on the
river. None of the draws got there. There was the flush draw on the flop, which are Renee's main bluffs in that spot on his flop bet. But his value range is, jacks plus and ace king that picked up value. But what hands is he trying to get value from on that jam on the river? It's really a polarizing bet where you might get looked up by a bluff catcher like eights, which is a great bluff catcher there.
Case in point, that's why those suited connectors can be absolutely dangerous if they work properly. And so the ladies got the 2 jacks. We're going to make it 20 to go. We got Daryl that's going to defend with king 9. Poker Kenneth with ace king's going to make it 84.
Okay.
Okay.
No. This is interesting. Daryl on the button.
No, 85. There we go. He makes it 85 to go. And
oh, I see. Poker
there we go. Oh, and Megan 4 bets to 220.
I love it.
And Poker Kenneth makes the insta fold. Wow. Oh.
Was that really just a 4-bet to 220?
Yes, she did. The lady's coming with some chops.
I'm going to have to interview Cy after this and figure out what's going through his head folding there.
Wow, obviously. Ace King heads up, she puts out the 3.
Oh, you know what? I don't think Cy's ever played with Megan.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point,
So he's going to be a little conservative early on. This is kind of how Cy plays. He likes to get a little history on a player and adjust and do some exploitative adjustments once you get some history with them. But I'd say that's a pretty tight fold for him.
I agree. So, all right, we've got Rick in the +1. He's making it 20 to go. And it gets over to Renee, who puts out the 3-bet. He makes it 60. Daryl calls with ace queen and poker. He's got 2 10s.
Goodness.
Good grief. I'm like, are we sure that we didn't put any bad calls? Oh, wait a minute. We got to be bad.
Oh, of course he's priced in with 5-3.
Absolutely. Now, obviously, he's looking at this all like, you got all this free money out there. We're going to make this move with the 5-3 of hearts. And he's going to make the call. And Rick's going to 4-bet this to 270.
I love it.
He's going to try to thin out the herd right now. Daryl's sitting with ace queen. And I think
only downside here is he only has 100. Or, no, he only has like
I think it's 50
left in his stack. So not shoving here is interesting. Now Duck's talking about me, and I'm in the booth, and he knows I can hear him.
Daryl sitting there with ace queen. Obviously, after you see a bet of 3 callers and then the 4-bet to 270 to try to basically thin out all these callers, and he's going to lay it down. That's a good lay down where ace queen for Daryl, and then over to Poker Carrot, who's got 2 10s. And he lays down the 10s. And Nick with 5-3. He's going to lay down the 5-3. And Rick gets with an excellent
Nick gets it through.
With an excellent re-raise there, re-raising with the 2 9s, getting out ace queen and 2 10s.
By all these reactions, they must have rolled the flop. Oh, I'm happy you got that through. He's just using that image. He probably hasn't played too many hands tonight, and a 4-bet out of him is going to get through a lot of time.
Wow, folks, that tells you something. Obviously, that was a position at its finest, kind of being able to try to take everyone's play away, regardless of how many chips he had. So,
Daryl and Sire are gonna kick themselves watching this later.
Gonna be like, you figured that one of them would have. You know, it's like after Daryl with the ace queen, Cy with the 2 10s, and Rick gets the 9s through.
I honestly think not jamming there and making it 270 and leaving 50 behind is what really threw them off, that he had such a strong hand. He's keeping some back for not really any real reason besides to just like make it the right size so that it screams he wants callers and he wants value out of a really good starting hand.
And that's apparently what happened with that. As we go to a flop that says 7 queen 5, we got Nick that's got the club flush draw. Jimmy's got an inside straight draw. Megan's got bottom pair with 5s. Megan's gonna bet the bottom pair. Jimmy's gonna call. Nick's gonna call with the flush draw. We're going 3 ways to the turn. It's a 7 that pairs the board. So far, still, it's the 5. Megan's 5s that are ahead. It's gonna go check, check, and Jimmy's gonna check the turn. And the ace of clubs on the river. Uh-oh, it looks like the Nick AC unit is backing up the truck.
He's just full potting.
Puts out a bets 125. It's gonna go fold, fold. And Nicky 6 gonna take down this pot. As he said, he'd rather have Jack 9 of clubs, being the TJ Cloutier hand for those poker aficionados. I'm like, Dan, you know about the TJ Cloutier hand, Jack 9 of clubs?
I don't think so. I'm not too much of a historian.
I was obviously I know he's played in a couple of our tournaments and mostly.
I've seen him at TCH playing tournaments all the time. Yeah.
Absolutely. They called the Jack 9 of clubs the TJ Cloutier hand because in 1 year, I believe it was 1990, in 1 year, holding Jack 9 of clubs, he flopped 3 straight flushes.
What?
Jack 9 of clubs, and he flopped 3 straight flushes holding the Jack 9 of clubs, so that they decided to name that hand the TJ Cloutier hand.
Oh, that's definitely his hand now. Yeah.
I would, absolutely.
That's absurd.
We got action now with over to Nick 6, who's going to fold the good buddy 10-4. Tom's going to put in the raise in the small blind. We're having to catch up. Tom's going to put in the raise to 44 with, I think it's 45 with the king queen. Daryl makes the call. Jimmy's going to call with the ace 4, and
I think our graphics need to correct themselves. The 10-4 from Nick is folded, and it was Tom that made that $45 raise.
Yes.
From the small. Ooh.
Oh, what a time to raise in the small blind. Tom has flopped the nut straight, and only Nick, who has a pair of, no, not Nick. I think Nick did fold. Either way, he puts out a bet, and it goes fold, fold, fold. Kind of wishing he had a chance to I'd probably say check that through, Dan. Obviously, you flopped the nut straight on a rainbow board. You kind of want some people to catch up.
It's in between. Since the tracker got a little backed up there, I'm not quite certain on the action from the rest of the players, but I think it was an open from Tom. And then there was a couple limpers. Tom opened in the small blind with king queen, and when he opens out of position, he can get value from a lot of folks that are just flatting that open pre-flop.
Pretty much dead on point there, but I cannot blame Dan with his exactness in regards to these players. He plays with these guys almost every Wednesday, and this was the one time that I know he'd always been talking about he wanted to be in the booth. I said, well, a seat had not opened up. I said, all right, come on in.
I appreciate it. This is pretty fun.
we've got action over the duck, who's got Dolly Parton 9-5. He's going to lay it down, and it's over to Poker Kenneth with the 9-7 off. He's going to make the call. Nicky's going to lay down the Woolworths 5 and dime, and we're going to take 3 to a flop. And the flop comes to King 5, 2 diamonds. Megan's flop top pair, and she checks. Poker Carib checks, and Tom. We don't see Tom's cards. He's gonna put out a continuation bet. He's gonna make it 35. Megan with top pair puts in this small click back raise to 75, and it goes fold. Megan's gonna take down this pot. All right, folks, we're going to have that. Dan got pulled out of the booth briefly, but we're going to go to our chat in regards of those that are watching this on the stream, on all of the platforms, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or Twitch. And it looks like we have a special guest in the booth. We're going to click the camera back on here to see. It is none other than, I have a, oh boy. Nope, that is not it. Or not. Anyway, but we'll have a chance to. We've got Renee in the booth. So, hey, Renee, come on in, Renee. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. So yeah, we're snug as a bug in here, but we got Renee, aka.
Just leave it at Renee. Leave it there, man. Let it go.
All right,
set it free like a butterfly.
All right, Renee. So obviously, you've had a chance to play in this game. I know you've had a chance to play between tournaments. You played this game a lot. Obviously, it's just getting started. How is it playing so far?
People are sticky. They are not folding to my bluffs. Like not even a little.
You know, we were just talking about that in regards on the line you took with the ace 9 of clubs. Obviously, you flopped the nut flush draw.
Yeah.
On the 8 deuce deuce board, and then the king on the turn, obviously, and you fired again on the king. So once the call came, once you make it 200 to go with the king, when the king comes on the turn and he calls, did it turn into like, okay, this is the only move I can make? Was you?
I'm betting 100% of rivers.
Oh, really? Oh, 100%. Oh. Yeah. Oh wow! So and you were you stay towards that regardless, with knowing that you've made the raise before. So it's gone pre-flop raise and then three barrel bluff the whole way. All right.
The king is a good bluff card, and so it just makes him have to make the kind of call he did, which is not an easy call.
Absolutely. I mean, just the call down with just a dry pair of eights with a low kicker was an amazing call with that. So, but also it probably will give you. I know you probably have that in your mental bank, knowing when that situation comes back up again, and I think he will probably then defer when you made the move with the ace high with the nut flush draw, and then you end up waking up with the nuts on that one. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's the thing. It's like when you take a hand like that and you get a good bluff card on the turn, basically by betting every single river, by shoving every single river for about pot there, he kind of has no good options no matter what happens. Even if he's on flush draws, if he's not on flush draws, if he's on pairs, whatever, like he has to make that kind of call like every single time. So I buy my action sometimes when I make hands. People kind of have to pay me because I'm going to throw some bluffs in there.
There you go, folks. He's a man of fruition. He knows. He explains why he makes the moves he makes. Obviously, thanks, Renee, for being able to come in with us. We're going to let him get back to the game, and hopefully he has a chance to be able to make the same move and get it with better results this time. So.
You hadn't seen my bust out yet.
Oh, okay.
I think we're about to see.
Oh, no.
See something gross.
Oh, boy. Actually, you know what?
15 minutes.
I think Renee's going to stay in the booth for a second here. As we go to this hand, we got a flop of 10-6-4, then 3 of hearts that gave Daryl the flush draw. And a king on the river gives him top pair, and he checks. Poker kind of with just queen high is going to check, and Nick missed his straight draw. So Daryl's going to roll over the kings, and he's going to win this pot.
I missed the opening action. I think that Daryl checked that river. Is that right?
I think he did.
I like it. Picks up showdown value on the river and can call some bluffs on that river out of position. Good little pot.
Absolutely. As we go to the chat here, said we got Jared He30 said all players other than one call from last night's game. I said, well, I mean, if you've had it, anyone that had a chance to see the last night's 5, 10, 20, 40, in some cases 80. Oh yeah,
How'd I miss that?
it was straddles galore, I believe, in none other than the Razor Piggy Tuesday night game.
Jared's Tuesday night.
Jared's Tuesday night game, aka Razor Piggy.
That got out of hand again.
Just a little bit. But obviously there was tons of action there, as we have tons of action here, where we've got everyone call down and got Rick in the cutoff, making it 30 to go over to Poker Carif, who's got the Jack Deuce of Diamonds. Jimmy's going to call it down with the King 7. Nick has 2 cards in a Cracker Jack box that otherwise he's going to call that down. And Megan with the 4 deuce on the bottom end of the deck, she's going to make a call. We're going 5 ways, and a flop of deuce, ace, 10. Rick's flop top pair, but Jimmy has the nut flush draw, and it's going check over to Megan, who's going to try to squeeze one out of here. She bets 65 with bottom pair. Rick's sitting with top pair.
Puts in the min raise.
Yep, he's going to make it 130 to go. Poker Carif with deuces with the back door. He's going to fold. Now Jimmy's sitting with the nut flush draw.
Thanks, Juan.
Yeah, he's going to make the smooth call here. And Megan, I think, knowing that there was a min click and a raise, that, she makes the call.
Is it possible?
And an ace on the turn that gives Rick 3 aces. But Rick's going to bet 275. Anything Jimmy's had up, he's going to let that flush draw go, and Megan lets go of the deuces, and Rick's going to pick up this pot.
I think with that second ace coming in there and Rick with the min raise, our 6 seat folding that flush draw is nice and safe. I like it.
I agree with you. I would say it's like being the fact that if he flops the flush draw, and obviously from there you have a 1 in 3. Realistically, you're going to always have a 1 in 3 shot. That if you flop a flush draw, you got a 1 in 3 shot to actually get there. So when the ace comes on the turn, that obviously you're going to see that someone put in the initial 3 bet with a big hand, it makes trips. It's a good time to let it go. I mean, some people I know might have kept going with it, but it's not. It's a safe play. Obviously, be able to just let go of that on the turn. As we go back to our comments, we got a couple ones like saying Tom is a whale, and yes, that is, and we do have Jared. This is Razor Piggy. We live out of. Y'all are doing a great job. Keep up the good work. Thank you,
Thanks,
Jared. We appreciate it, man. Obviously, again. That is something for those to see. I have no problem wanting to rep Razor Piggy's Tuesday night game. It is a 5-5-10 game, folks, and trust me, it comes with about as much action as ladies are trying to catch the bouquet at the wedding reception. All right, folks. As we go to the next hand, we're gonna have Nick 6 under the gun. We got Nick, or as I call him, he goes by Nick 6, but we call him Nick AC for the fact that he does have he has his AC company, Nick's AC, out of North Dallas in the Plano area, folks. And I tell you, from what this man tells me, he worked a lot of hours amongst the record summer again in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. If anything, trust me, you can't see a picture of it. We can't see Dan fully, but it's because of the heat. At one point in time this summer, Dan weighed 379 pounds.
Sweated all off.
He sweated it all off, folks.
200 pounds of water weight gone this summer.
200 pounds of water weight. And it was more or less we're trying to make...
I guess more like 100.
Give or take, folks. I'm not going to knock it, obviously, in regards to that, but I mean, it was hot. But Nick's AC Group, obviously, reputable company. Make sure that you try that when it's hot, he'll keep you cool. When it's cool, he'll keep you cooler. And also, but when it gets really cold, well, actually, does it ever get really cold here in Texas? Except for maybe like 3 weeks out the year.
Yeah, and we'll all lose power and super
we'll
freeze.
Trying to figure it out, and
it'll happen once a year
at least, and hopefully.
I think he does heat too.
Yes, he does. Absolutely, that's the joy of the HVAC business. It's both cool and heat.
Yeah, bummer for Daryl in that last hand. No one had anyone to mix around with his ace king of diamonds, so it just got through real easily.
And just a raise and take it with that. So as we go to our next hand number 15 again, it is Craig with special guest commentator none other than Dan. I call him Dan the Man. He's rocking that Texas Longhorn burnt orange. Actually, you guys had a good win this past weekend.
It was nice. We look good.
Now, of course, now that there is a talk of possibly extending the playoff to 12 teams, because theoretically, it's going to be always ends up being dominated by the.
I think that's more or less a done deal now. A couple years from now, they'll have it expanded to 12. And that'll be incredible.
I think, honestly, what will end up happening is they'll just roll over that. It'll give everybody an extra week of football as we wait to get into the NFL playoffs. Like, here you go. We're going to throw some more games into that for everyone to watch here. We're going to go to this, as we go to this turn card where we have Tom sitting with the open and straight draw against Poker Carafe, who's got king high. And it's going to be a raise and take it as Poker Carafe makes the fold, and Tom's going to win the pot. Again, here's our chip count. It's going Daryl Duck, then Poker Carafe, Nikki 6, or Nick 6. I don't know. To those, don't get me wrong. If Nikki 6 of Motley Crue is watching, yes, I am a fan. Then goes Rick, Tommy, Jimmy, Megan, and then Renee, which apparently Renee's had a chance to provide a additional beverage to Dan the Man here.
Shout out to Renee for that little favor. Appreciate it.
Providing some beverage sustenance so that way he can be able to keep this going. Again, folks, the live stream of this will be going on until the 10 o'clock hour. So by all means, have a chance, sit back, order some food, or get something out of the kitchen, grab a beverage.
Can you change Nick to GTO Nick?
Uh-oh.
So I think this might be the hand that Renee came in here and warned us about, that he gets stacked in.
And
that was about 15 minutes ago. And we got Megan with a little sneaky open with King 10 clubs under the gun. Renee makes it 50. Nick likes a suited king all the time.
Absolutely. Look at this. We got the flop comes 5-7, ace 2 clubs. Megan has the king high flush draw, but it is the Tom's 2 8s that are leading, and Renee's going to put out the feeler bet. He bets 75.
Check to the original razor by Megan is real standard, and she's definitely coming along.
Absolutely. With that king high flush draw, they go fold over to Megan. She's going to make the call. Then the deuce on the turn. No help to either player. But Renee's going to put out the follow-up. He's going to make it 250 to go. And obviously,
Close
we
to
had
a pot-sized bet on this turn, which is a brick. And it was four-way. It was multi-way on the flop. And he continued after raising pre-flop. And Megan's continuing again here.
and she,
with,
yeah, she
you know,
doesn't.
she doesn't know
She doesn't know that she actually has the best hand here.
Yeah.
With king high, and the
Oh,
deuce of
boy.
clubs. Megan has made her flush. And oh no!
He steps in it again.
Renee
he
moves
knows what
all
he
in,
did.
and Megan makes the snap call to scoop this pot. Oh, unfortunately for Renee, we have to give him one of these.
Womp womps. That was a womp womp.
Oh no! Here are our chip counts. After that hand, obviously Megan has skyrocketed up the leaderboard in regards. After that pot, you're sitting there going. And again, folks, remember when I said there's lots of action at this table, and you're going to sit here looking at the stream going, huh? The same way when you watch an old lady on The Price is Right bid $68,000 for a surfboard.
Renee told me he wants that one back.
I believe that's one of the reasons why I think he did end up coming into the I think was it the Dallas / Austin location of the Bank of Dan. As we go on to our next hand here, we've got Rick with 2 6s, Poker Canada with the 98 O's. He's going to make it 50 to go, and Jimmy with 2 jacks, just going to smooth call this. And Nick, that didn't like 2 cards that no one else would pick up. He's got the kids game, AC Deucey. He makes the call. Megan calls with the 2 4s. Rick calls with the root 66. We're going 5 ways to this flop. And it comes 7 king king. It's the 2 jacks for Jimmy that's still leading. It gets checked over to Rick, who's got the 6s. He checks. Poker Carav he's checking. I think Jimmy in position. He checks too. And the 7, it double pairs the board.
Nick likes his ace high here. 2 pair with ace high.
Absolutely. And so he's going to fire out for 75. Rick can't like the fact that now he's playing a 6 kicker as opposed to the 2 6s. And Jimmy, looking at, he's still got a pair better than one of the pairs on the board. And a 6 on the river. So it's going to be the kings and jacks with Jimmy that's going to win this pot. But Nick can't help himself. He's going to put out a bet. And all that Jimmy thinks of is that, did he really limp in with a king? Or not even limp, did he really call a bet with a king?
It's asking for a call, but he's getting too good of a price to fold the jacks here.
Absolutely. I think it's gonna be a semi-crying call. Oh, he lays it down. And Rick's sitting here going, I'm like, would have made 6s full on the end. But Nick literally letting everyone know that there are 52 cards in the deck, and I will play them every which way but up. Here are our chip counts here. Obviously, we got Daryl, Megan, and Nick 6 at the top, going 1, 2, 3. Looking at our stream cat, dinner bet. Arkansas makes a college football playoff appearance before the Horns do. Uh-oh.
Oh, no, he's absolutely right.
Really?
I don't know. My little sister went there. I'm a Piggy fan too, Jared.
Hey, I remember that the 2-headed monster that they had there once upon a time, Jared, and you can attest to me that 2-headed monster being Darren McFadden, Felix Jones, in the backfield.
Oh, yeah. And
you look at it going, no one, and I think it was Houston Nutt, I think was the head coach that time because he was lobbying for McFadden for some Heisman votes. And he had a semi-okay career in the NFL. I know Felix Jones had a stint with the Cowboys. So he's repping Jerry Jones from here and there.
Yeah.
And the action on as we have Daryl raising with the 2 6s and Poker Carav putting the 3-bet with the hammer. 7 deuce of spades. He's making it 65 to go.
Getting really out of line. I love it.
Nick
He
with
just wants to be able to show this when he takes it down.
Did y'all put the 7 deuce game in?
The game's not on.
Oh, he didn't. It's not on. This
He
is just
likes to
because.
play it with himself. And suited queen high. Nick's
Queen
calling a
high.
3-bet for sure.
Daryl calling with the 2 6s. And the flop comes queen 8 king. Nick's flopped a pair of queens. And you know Poker Carav, he can't help himself. He's going to fire the continuation bet
Nick's
of
not going
100.
anywhere.
Nick's not going anywhere. You couldn't move Nick with a bulldozer and a 747 with this hand. And but Poker Carav's picked up something. He's picked
Does
up
he
a pair
put
of
the brakes
7s.
on here with a little showdown value. Can't imagine.
Nope. He's running right through this red light, folks. He's going to put in the bet. He bets at 125. Nick calls. I told you, folks, Nick couldn't be moved off that table with 2 strong linebackers and some jello. Jack on the river.
Poker Kareth is asking for a count. I love it.
Oh, no. Is he really going to try to pull the 3-barrel? Nope. He
gets,
checks.
white flags.
And Nick rolls over the king.
He's showing.
He's going to roll. He was literally trying to show him. He was trying to pull the hammer and sickle out of him with a 7 deuce. And Nick taking down another pot.
I think if he jams there, Nick's got to fold. I think Nick does fold.
Considering how the board is, I know he's sitting there with second pair, but the board texture is like so many straights get there. 9-10 gets there. Ace-10 gets there. A better king gets there. Even 2-pair gets there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Poker Kareth is the original 3-better. I mean, he has all that in his value range that just crushes Nick, and a jam on the river. It'd be a sick hero call.
Indeed. As we've lost Renee temporarily. I think he ended up going. Did he end up going back on the main floor?
He's about to sit right back down.
Oh,
there
never.
it is.
He went to go reload, folks. Action's going to be on Daryl under the gun. He's got 10-6 off. He's going to lay it down. Poker Carrot with the king 6. Jimmy with jack 9 of hearts. He makes the raise, and Nick's going to call him with the 2 3s. Tom's sitting there with Kojak. He's got king jack putting in the 3-bet. He's going to make it 100 to go. And Duck with the 10-9 offsuit. Gonna lay it down. Back over to Jimmy with jack 9. He's gonna fold. And Nick with the 2 3s.
Nick is sticky with pairs pre-flop.
Absolutely.
I know that for sure. But poor Duck has been card dead all night long. He's usually in there mixing it up, but they must be really bad tonight.
And Nick's gonna make the call with the 2 3s. So it's gonna be 2 3s for Nick, king jack for Tom. Here's the flop. Oh my gosh! Nick has flopped a full house, 3s full of 8s. Oh gosh! And Nick checks his full house. Tom bets
Been a while
65. Let me
since
rephrase
I
that. Tom donates 65 and makes the call. Tom has no idea. And a 4 on the turn. Nick checks again. He's literally just saying, pay the bill,
Yeah,
Tom.
is
Pay the
slowing
bill,
down on this
Tom.
board.
And the river isn't. Oh, wow. That could have been something. Now, it's flipped over now. Now, Nick still has a full house, but now it's flipped over to 8s full of 3s. But he's going to put in the bet now just to make sure he's on the safe side in case that Tom still had a bigger pair than 4s.
What a terrible river for Nick. But
He's
with
gonna
that check
fire it.
back on the turn.
Yep.
I think Tom bets a lot of pocket pairs bigger than 8s on that turn for a little extra protection and a continuation bet. But that board for him, a 4 there against Nick's range, I think it's a good slowdown. And hero calling with the king here
It's a lot.
looks like a possibility with the tank.
It's a
And
possibility, obviously.
interesting.
Sitting there with oh, he makes the call. And
thinks
Nick
is
turns
very
over the full house, and when it got reversed, as opposed to threes full of eights, it got turned to eights full of threes. But Tom makes the call and pays him off. Ladies and gentlemen, if that tells you folks, when we said that there's action, if anything, he will. And Nick is no joke. He is a man of conviction that believes there are 52 cards in every poker deck. I will play them all.
He's not here to fold. He loves seeing flops, and he will get paid off when he makes it. And hero calling with King High there from Tom is just the epitome of that. But I don't blame Tom.
No, not at all.
In a 3-bet pot like that, Nick can have a lot of bluffs there and be getting out of line a lot of the time. So
I know it's a situation like could you with the King High there with that board and making the call down with King High. I mean, I don't fault the play at all, because I mean you're sitting going with a board that said 3-8-8-4. You're thinking what, 5-6, 5-7?
yeah.
I mean,
I think there was 2 hearts out there too.
Two hearts?
A bunch of bluffs or a bunch of draws that didn't get there. That could make I think he put 225 into about 300. So it's a little. I mean, it is polarizing on a board like that to make a big bet on that river with a blank. And not a blank. It was another 8.
It was another 8.
And
Yeah,
so
but 3 8s on the board. Yeah.
He's repping full houses, and Tom just didn't believe him.
Absolutely. And Tom's firing right back with a choice cut the deck. He's got ace king of hearts. He's making it 50 to go. And
Duck finally finds a hand.
he's got a suited ace. He's going to let that one go. Renee lets it go.
Some discipline from Duck.
Daryl folds over to Nick 6, who's got the suited one gapper, 10-8 of diamonds.
Daryl hasn't played in a hand in a while, and he's trying to get lucky. This man that gets a little antsy.
Where you going?
This could be a big pot for him if he.
Oh my God!
Nick.
Here we go, folks.
Yeah.
We're going to see it again. It's going to be Nick and Tom round 2. Nick has
He's
flopped.
slow playing it again, and Tom does not continue with Megan behind.
But now it's going to be real trouble. Now Nick's flopped 3 10s. Tom has turned top pair with the nut flush draw. Megan has an inside straight draw, and Daryl's wishing we kind of could restart this hand all over again. Nick bets
Really happy Nick led here.
Nick bets 140. Tom makes the call. Megan's going to let go of the straight draw. Daryl's going to let go of his hand.
8 of hearts.
And here comes the river. It's a 5 of diamonds. Oh, the 8 of hearts he got there. But Nick's going to, I think, he's definitely firing out on this one. He makes it 200 to go, and he calls.
Tom can't fold
and
again.
Nick's going to get paid off again.
Oh. Duck's making the appropriate face.